Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the B Team podcast on Jackrabbit Illustrated. Thank you for joining us again. As always, we are on the JI YouTube, the JI Facebook page, and as always, with our partnership with FCS, Fans Nation YouTube, not FCS Fans Nation anymore, because some people think they're too cool. Yeah, that is true. See why life's hard and confusing for me all the time. No, thanks for joining. Per protocol, we are late as usual, and naturally it gets blamed on Chad and I when it's never Chad and I.
I'm almost always the first person on. Wasn't tonight.
Yeah, boom, suck it.
So I did get a new computer, and I was scrambling because, and I hope my mic sounds okay. It doesn't have like new technology. It doesn't have an aux jack. It doesn't even have USB ports, for God's sake.
Well, that's
it just has USB-C ports.
Is it a Chromebook then?
No, it's a Surface.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha.
They just come with USB-Cs, and you got to buy the USB-C hub so that you can plug it. They're like $15.
And I don't know if it's because I'm sweaty from working out, but my grays are showing right now, and I don't like it.
It looks like you
way to knock yourself down and casually hit up the, I just got done working out.
Yeah, by the way, you notice how good I look for having gray hair? It's amazing. Yeah.
You do know that most of the people on here watching are guys.
Working for him. No. Dustin said last time I saw it, he had a bum knee, so I'm just going to assume he had a re-aggravated injury. He's just never had surgery for it yet, is the real story, Rev. So,
it's coming up.
Because, why would you want to fix something that's already broken?
And Ariel wants you to get into docking, whatever that means.
Get a docking station.
That's different.
I'll explain to you guys what that is with the visual aid later. Anyway. Joshua, I don't know if you need tickets in 124. I don't. What do you need tickets in 124?
I mean, tickets to get in. But
speaking of tickets, you know what's fun? What's really, really fun about tickets is I had high noon. Per protocol. Gotcha. So, anyways, no, what's really fun is I had on Twitter a couple of Montana State fans jump me, and I've seen a bunch of Montana State fans talk all the smack about how they're the reason the stadium's selling out because they're showing up. And then what pops up is if you have the code to the Montana State allotment of tickets, which maybe we could share even because there's still Montana State allotment tickets left, and they only get 400 tickets, and they haven't even sold those. So, maybe mind your business, boys. Don't be coming talking smack and then have that sort of output.
Yeah, but their O-line's bigger and better, and the grass won't be slippery. And what did I miss?
I remember
Ron
when we tried not to be bulletin board material. Now Chad's got a full-time gig on the A-team. He's just slinging zingers left and right here.
Hey, Matt came out hard last night.
Yeah. Wow. He even said shit, which made me about shit. And it was exciting. I'm glad, I'm excited to be a bad influence on the Podfather. So B Team Mafia is finally working its magic on him. He's coming to the dark side.
So
yeah, we make him laugh and he can't help it.
For those interested in Montana State game tickets, go to buy tickets on gojacks.com, and in the promo code, before you click on the Montana State game, because some people get confused by that, it's before you select a game, there's a promo code up top. Type in CAT SAT SDSU. And you'll, all caps. CAT SAT SDSU. And there are about 50 tickets left right in the section above these goons. So you'll be able to get to hang out with them.
Sort of. At a distance. At a distance, and you'll see our arms going up and down like this.
Yeah, I need to work on that, man. My tennis elbow's acting up.
Dude, I'm gonna get tendonitis and dislocate a shoulder here. I should have been
swinging
gonna
that
start
edge,
banging it.
working on this garage this summer, and it flared up.
Not great,
We're
huh?
getting old, boys.
I'm gonna have to take
gray.
some
We got
Mobic
tennis
or
elbow. I'm getting knee
I got
surgery.
gray,
This
bud.
is where
Get in
it's all
here.
going downhill.
We are in the downward slide.
Just remember, I'm older than you all by a fair margin too.
You are. True. Yeah, you're grandpa.
Yep.
Grandpa Chad in his garage time.
So anyway, what did we come here to talk about?
Football. Yeah, we're here for
South
football.
Dakota State football.
We don't have different outfits for the blackout game. We still have the bibs, but we do have black helmets that we usually use, and we'll have a black shirt of some sort.
If somebody wants to donate black bibs, we would wear them. We would.
What's the point in that?
Is this a blackout?
Black and yellow.
I know, but why bibs? Cool. If you don't have the blue and yellow stripes, then don't wear bibs.
But
it's our thing.
What if we got like black and yellow bibs?
That's what I'm saying.
I'm okay with that.
It wouldn't be terrible. That black and blue or black and yellow. I'm sure you can find black and yellow. You'd have to get Hawkeyes.
Yeah.
But I suppose we're here to talk Western Oregon. It is the first game of the season, which is kind
of Kubota Tractors.
Or Kubota Tractors. We are brought to you by our title sponsor, Kubota Tractors of South Dakota. Get your yard all cleaned up nice. If you're afraid of the coming snowstorms that will be this winter, get yourself a Kubota tractor. They've got a snowblower on them, and they are.
Why do we keep talking about snow?
The cat's meow. Because I would take snow over this 100-degree bullshit any day of the week and twice on Sundays. I don't live within 800 miles of Canada to be at 100 degrees for a week straight. This is garbage.
Yeah, I don't like the heat either because I can only get so naked. So you've got a point there.
I get so naked, and then the neighbors complain, and and then you can only go so close to schools. So
we're supposed to be talking
bumblebees. Bumblebees are horizontal stripes, bud. You can't catch me in horizontal stripes.
Yeah, Kubota. Yeah, I'm sure Kubota wants to be mentioned a couple minutes after can't be allowed near schools. But seriously, get a Kubota lawn tractor. You get the cab that can be heated and air conditioned, so you're happy in all sorts of weather. And you can
got skid steers too. Those are pretty epic.
Skid steers are pretty baller as well. So yeah, they got the whole lineup for you to take care of any problem you might need to solve in your acreage, yard, wherever. And they mow lawns as well on top of it. So
what is this, Paul Saylor?
Ashamed I won't be participating in the blackout. I have a fantasy punishment. Okay. Well, you know what? I wonder what
time, sir, but I'm wondering what it is.
This is curious. Am I supposed to be wearing the cat headphones, by the way? I was going to put it to Ben, but he was okay. I don't. Just let me know when the next episode I have to wear them is, so I know ahead of time. No. So we got the Western Oregon game this week. Should we get our gripes out of the way first, or should we?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
It's time. It's time. We've sat on our tongues long enough.
Yeah. So one thing we do want to be on this show is honest with people. I think that's why people like us a little bit, is we're pretty honest, we're pretty open, we're pretty much ourselves. Even if maybe it's not the most flattering to SDSU if we're angry about it. But man, this is a huge deal. It's celebrating your first national title game. It is celebrating your Vince Lombardi of your coaches, Coach Stig. It's celebrating his achievements in his career to the largest celebrations you can have that will ever happen at any game at SDSU. Like, bar none. It's huge. And then you put it on a Thursday, which I understand. But then you go and it ends up being Western Oregon, which diminishes it a little bit more because now it's Western Oregon. And we're not going to get you don't want to have your first game be Montana State. I completely agree with that. But Then you move it to Thursday, and now you move the pre-celebration to start at 4:00, which, yeah, there's people on campus and everything else, but you're making this, you're minimizing and minimizing and minimizing what should be the largest celebration in SDSU history, and you're taking it away. I know there's students on campus, but something should have been done to make this work so that you could have at minimum your normal amount of time tailgating. I was planning on taking the day off of work, and now what's the point?
Yeah, and then they sent out that tweet or whatever that said it was going to be at 2, and now they've reeled it back to 4:00. So,
and then the map on there as well doesn't show anything. If you look at it, it has the lots color coded, but it doesn't say what the colors mean or any of that sort of stuff on the parking map or anything like that.
It took a lot of the wind out of my sail as far as excitement's concerned when they made it 4:00, because now it's like, well, we were going to try and make an effort to get up there early,
right?
But now it might just be 5:00, when it's convenient for Sam to get off school and for us to get up there.
Yeah, and it's a shame. Obviously, we'll be at the game. I'll be at the game. I don't know. I'm assuming, Ben, you're going to be at the game.
Yep.
I mean, we're going to be there because this is huge. You want to be there to see this. No doubt. They're naming something after Stig. I think everybody's figured that out by now. Either the field, maybe a building, whatever. You guys chopped up about that a little bit on the A-team. But it really bums me out the way that this has gone down with it. And yeah, it's just frustrating.
On a more positive note, I would say that it's not ideal that we only have 3 hours to tailgate. And when it's 3 hours, it's more like 2 max. I will say that number one, I hope that a lot of people make it up there. I know it's a school night. I know it's tough because, if you got kids, you don't want to bring them because they don't want to keep them out late. But I hope a lot of people make it up. And I will say that if you are up there, try to get into the stadium extra early, because number one, they're going to do some sort of ceremony for obviously for the championship, and then for Stig as well. And then it sounds like there's a new entrance that you guys talked about a little bit last night.
Yep.
That'll be cool to see what they got up their sleeve.
Yep.
It'll be, I don't know. The least we can do is, as much as they have diminished it a little bit, we can be good Jacks fans and show out for the national champions and show our support. So, yeah, that's my soapbox.
Yeah, absolutely. It's not, you're 100% right. It as irritating as it is, everything that we talked about, this team absolutely deserves to have everybody show up. Just
100%
to show up, support this team. It's the least you can do after what they accomplished last year and what Coach Stig accomplished over his career and has built here. The least people can do is show up and give them a good crowd. Minimum. Even if they said no tailgating, I would still be of the opinion everybody should show up anyways. So beyond our complaining that we got out there, it is what it is. Show up. They're going to be unveiling the new signage and everything.
Yeah. We kind of missed the mark on these two. I don't know. You can blame it on the games we lost to, though. So I get the administration was in a tough place, but it still feels like a big swing and a miss.
Yep. But
having said that, what are you guys looking forward to about this game?
Besides the pregame festivities and Stig and everything else like that, I'm looking forward to. I would almost feel better if it was like 14-7 at halftime, because I know if that happens, Montana State is going to get the full Monty next week. and they're not. But I know that's not going to happen. So I'm looking forward to, seeing some guys like Angel Johnson get a bunch of carries. I don't think Amar or Isaiah need that many carries. Seeing Angel get a bunch of carries, see what the young receivers look like, young tight ends. We've seen so many of these guys that are on the defense that it's almost going to be like hard to get down to people we haven't seen yet with the amount of starters we rotated through last year. So that's what I'm looking forward to watching there.
I'd also like to see, the improvements of the guys that were already known quantities, like how much better Gronowski's going to be. I mean, we've heard that he's improved a fair amount, and I'm looking forward to see some of that too. I mean, when you're already a stud.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of doubt we'll see too much out of Gronowski, but
right.
Especially, I mean, we're not going to be throwing the ball much. I bet I don't want to see Gronowski in there more than, I don't know, a quarter. Like I don't even think he needs to play till halftime, honestly.
Right. That's the thing. Like, how long is too long for them to play? Do you feel like they need a full half to get into rhythm? I suppose it's going to depend on what they look like when they get out there. But on the flip side, it's going to depend on what sort of team Western Oregon is when they show up. I mean, are they going to be to a level where you can get some good looks out of them and then move on? Or are they going to be something that if you're able to just wax them, what are you learning from being able to hit a couple plays and it's a touchdown?
Right.
If Isaiah rips off 2 runs for 160 yards, then it's like, what did we learn? How'd you even get in a rhythm? But then again, if we don't, then everybody's going to be mad. So these games are always tough, and I try not to overreact to anything that really happens on them.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'd like to see a couple touchdown drives, some throws, some runs by Davis and Amar, and then most of the starters out after that, after a couple touchdown drives. Because, I mean, as we've talked about at length, our team is super deep, and it'd be nice to get some of these guys some run, see what they've got, see who can be contributors this year. I mean, they're, especially on the offensive side, with everybody returning, we know what we've got there. Let's see what we've got for depth if and when we need that. I mean, because injuries are bound to happen, and we're going to need some guys to step up at some point. So you wanted to see what you got there. On the defensive side, I think we'll see quite a bit of rotation there, especially on the D line.
Yeah.
With Caleb and Reese gone, we need to figure out what we got there. We need to see what Blake Peterson's got, which I'm excited about. He's that type of athlete that he looked different coming out of high school, and he's one of those guys that like looked normal on an FBS field. He didn't look like he was an undersized guy or whatever. So I'm interested to see what he looks like out on the field with the rest of our guys, and maybe it'll look the same. But that's just kind of something that I've been interested in. Yeah, and I guess one more on the offense side of the ball. You mentioned Angel Johnson. I'm also excited to see Derek Johnson. I'm also excited. I mean, I want to obviously enjoy Isaiah Davis this year, but do you realize next year we could have a backfield of Johnson, and Johnson?
Yeah.
Which is going to be awesome.
Call it the soap backfield. You're going to wash them away. I'm curious to see a little bit. And I mean, I don't think we're going to get a good feel of it either. What the offense is going to look like post Tucker Kraft, which is weird to say that, oh, well, he's one tight end and we've got really good tight ends moving in. But I remember all of us talking about when Tucker was down for the first half, was like, well, this offense was set up to have Tucker Kraft and key off of Tucker Kraft. So I'm curious what it's going to look like without him, and how Luan spent the summer here getting this keyed up, and who who they're going to key off of the most and what sort of sets they have set up. I'm excited to see that compared to last year, but I don't know if we're going to get a great taste of that in this game.
I'd also like to see us try out some new guys on special teams if there's that possibility, get to see what the other guys can do. I mean, we know what we have with Dustman. I'd like to see the other guy kicking the ball around a little bit. Things like that would be nice to be able to work into a game where it's like, dare I say, glorified scrimmage.
Well, yeah. And, I would feel bad talking about this game this way if we were doing what Montana is doing and playing Ferris State. That's a national championship.
Oh yeah.
D2 team. Like that's a whole different thing. These guys were 6-5 last year. Like nothing to write home about.
I think they're picked 6th in their conference this year.
Yeah.
They have a really weird conference. They're in the Lone Star Conference, which is like mostly made up of Texas teams.
Right.
So that's like a traveling nightmare. Their budget either has to be ridiculous for flying or they really ride a bus a lot.
Right. A lot of bus hours. Oof. But
And
yeah,
to give some context, they played Weber State to start the year last year, and they lost 5-41 in that one. Which,
right?
Did Weber State give up a safety in that game? Is that
They had to have snapped a punt.
I was going to say, was that the start of the snapping problems?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, they tend to play a lot of Big Sky teams. It seems to be a fairly regular thing for them to have a opening game against the Big Sky team somewhere. So they're not unknown to it. Rev says they were in the Great Northwest Conference, but it's scrap football. Central Washington and Simon Fraser playing. So they're the Northwest wing of it, I guess. Oh man, I could just, what I'm curious to see, because we have a special teams coordinator now.
Yeah.
Do we keep doing
special
teams coach? Yeah. Potato. He's kind of running it, right? Do we keep doing things that makes Chad burst the blood vessel every time we kick off? I, just for the entertainment factor, hope we keep doing the coffin corner ones so I can see Chad screaming about kicking it out of the end zone, because that is so funny.
It's so stupid. Tell me I'm wrong. If you can do it every time, fine. But when you kick it 30 yards or 20 yards away from the end zone out of bounds, it's stupid. It's just dumb. I mean, don't do it. If you can kick it out of the end zone every time, just do that instead.
I've seen us recover one of those before. That was worth it.
Yeah, a couple of
once.
We've recovered more than one. Yes, we absolutely have. That happened a couple times. There are times it gave other teams fits. I know you wouldn't remember them because they're rage blocked in your memory.
I see red. It's all I see.
Out of one eye, he sees red.
You're gonna pick on the handicap guy? I mean,
yes,
really?
In public. Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're gonna tell me how fat I look in this hat.
You're handicapable, Chad. Yeah.
Yeah, good point by Josh. It will be fun to see Chase Mason. I feel like it's a long time coming for this kid. He's quite the route to get here. But it sounds like he earned the number 2 job. And, I think he could play a factor this year. We talked about how it would be good to have somebody that can come in, take some plays off of Gronowski's plate and potentially run the ball. And so, yeah, it'd be interesting to see what he's got, if he's got serviceable arm, if he's got movement in the pocket. Excited to see him because he's got a lot of potential.
What I don't understand is how my rage became a shtick on this podcast. Not just this podcast. Now it's on all of our podcasts.
Your rage isn't a shtick. It's just a way of life for you in the stand. It's not a game if we're not screaming at each other. No, I would like to see Chase Mason. I'm curious. It was really good to read Tanner Castora's article. Talking on that, he has some, he has some of the issues you would 100% expect out of a kid who genuinely hasn't played football for 3 years. That's crazy. And I hope like hell he succeeds, because number one, that'd be great for Jackrabbit football. Number two, what a story that will be. I mean, that'll be legendary stuff. So that'll be, there's a lot of people to be interested to watch in this game because it's not just for backups this year, but also what the next wave's going to be after this season.
Yeah, because we'll lose quite a few guys, and so it'll be interesting to see kind of a glimpse of what we got coming behind them. Other than that.
Well, we can talk about what's coming up at the game that follows this game. We got the Cowboy Jacks deal, so that
doesn't follow this game. It follows the game that follows this game.
Whatever.
Follows.
I'm more excited to think about that party.
I thought you were missing that game.
Rev. I know. But
the Rev.
I want to know how it goes.
The Montana State game is the one I'm hyped up about, but yeah, that'll be the Cowboy Jacks. That'll be a good time.
100%. Sticking to this week for now. So let's look at if we don't have anything else on this game, which there's not a whole lot to talk about. And if you're looking for some more in-depth stuff, Matt and Chad did a great job last night. Check out their podcast. We will run down. Unfortunately, we don't have the lines for these games yet, but we'll talk quickly about each of the Missouri Valley games that are this week. I guess before I do that, do you have any notable FCS games you'd like to talk about? Any FCS FBS matchups?
If I wasn't driving for 6 hours today, I probably would have taken a peek. And off the top of my head, I should know, but I don't.
We do have some FCS FBS games. UNI is going to play Iowa State. That's kind of interesting, I think.
We do have that.
Well, that's a conference game, though.
It is a Missouri Valley game.
I guess.
I'm just pulling up Sam Herder is like the go-to for
the guru. He's the man that is the legend.
And he luckily posts every week. He posts what the interesting games are for the week. And just looking through them, I don't see any crazy notable ones. So we'll go through the Missouri Valley ones. Eastern Illinois goes to Indiana State. Valparaiso goes to Youngstown State. Those two, it'll be interesting to see. Again, we talked about, does Indiana State show a pulse this year? It's a program that seems to have a lot of pride, but it just seems like they can't put it together on the football field. I guess any thoughts on Indiana State this year?
Indiana State returns a fair amount of players this year.
Right.
I think they're going to beat Eastern Illinois in this game. And I think that if this line is favoring, I would take Indiana State if it was favoring up to 5 points. Honestly, on that game. That's where I sit on it. Well, I guess where is it at? Is it in Terre
It's
Haute,
at Indiana State. Yep.
Oh yeah, give me Indiana State all the way on that one.
Yep, I would agree there. Valparaiso, Youngstown State. I assume Youngstown State will take that one as well. It'll Be interesting to see what they look like this year. Any thoughts there?
I spaced out. What was what did you say?
Youngstown State. Any thoughts?
Youngstown State playing Valparaiso? No, that's
Yes.
I wouldn't. If I had my way, I wouldn't touch that line with a stick because it's a terrible team that they're playing.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, that is Western Oregon is better than Valparaiso. I would bet on Western Oregon over Valparaiso in that game.
Jeez, that's rough for Valparaiso.
They're a bet. Well, all right. Here's the deal. Let's talk about this. Everybody's got a raging hard on for St. Thomas, who came from Division III and they jumped up to FCS where they added 0 scholarships and immediately won the Pioneer League. What does that tell you? St. Thomas isn't UW River Whitewater, who's been winning title after title after title in Division III. They were a good, even a really good, but not great Division III team, and they won the Pioneer League. They're right off the jump. The Pioneer League blows. It just is what it is. It's so bad.
Well, there you go. Somebody send this to Valparaiso if they need some bulletin board material.
Send it to them. I will put me on their TV on repeat. I don't care. They're a beacon of garbage, and that's why their colors are brown and yellow.
I love it. This
It's like
good.
Wyoming.
God.
Speaking of garbage, we got USD going to Missouri. I can only assume they're going to get absolutely trounced in this one.
Like Matt said last night, USD's got a pretty good defense. So,
yeah, I'm curious to see if their defense can let them hang. We've seen a lot of times where a good FCS defense can let you hang until about halftime.
Yep.
If it's a really, really good FCS defense, you can hang until the third quarter.
Yep.
And if you can hang till then who knows what happens. I'm curious about what their offense looks like, with Josh Davis at the helm. What sort of offense are they running? They've been talking down there about how they've been tailoring to their offense, their talent, which I'm sure he brought from SDSU because we've done that forever. So I'm curious what it looks like. That's one I definitely would tune into.
Yeah, and that one is on
Thursday as well.
Thursday night as well. So
yeah,
you'll have to record that.
So I'll be busy, and I'm not recording a USD game. So I don't know if it ends up for free on the internet, and I'm really bored. Maybe I'll take a peek.
There you go. The next one is another FCS FBS. You got Missouri State going to Kansas, who it will be interesting to see Missouri State without Petrino, although it sounds like they hired his son-in-law or his
Beard. I believe is Petrino's son-in-law.
Yeah,
nepotism, baby. Cha-cha.
Yep, gotta love it.
That's why Missouri State's Missouri State. All right.
They go to Kansas, who has shown lately that they're not an absolute garbage football team. We'll see what they look like this year.
Yeah. Missouri State's going to lose by a bunch.
I would bet on that as well.
They're just not. They're not built like that. So Dustin says hopefully Missouri State can recover from the motorcycle wreck of a season they had last year. Unfortunately, motorcycle accidents take a long time to recover from, so I don't have a good prognosis for them this season.
I love it. Then you got Western Illinois going to New Mexico State, which is just a fantastic football game there.
Western Illinois to New Mexico State. New Mexico State knew exactly who to pick to get a win, didn't they?
Oh, yeah.
We're not losing to an FCS this year, boys.
It would be great if they still do lose to them.
Yeah. Oh, my God. If New Mexico State loses to Western Illinois, they should be legally forced to drop into FCS. Yeah, they already lost to UMass, which is you have to try to lose to UMass. I'm pretty sure Holy Cross would beat UMass by 47 points. I just picked Holy Cross because they're both East Coast teams, by the way.
Like Dustin said, how do you lose to UMass?
Yeah.
The next one we got Austin P going to Southern Illinois. Don't know what Austin P's got coming back this year, but yeah, agreed.
Let's go P.
Then you got Presbyterian going to Murray State. That's another gem of a game. Make sure to tune in for that one.
Yeah, Presby. That old who gained fame by hiring the high school coach who believed in never punting and onside kicking every time. And it worked out exactly 0 times when they played a team with scholarships. So, yeah, I don't know. APSU, P versus Southern Illinois could be a decent game. We'll see. If Southern Illinois walks in that game, then I'll have a little more faith in them to be decent. We'll be curious, but the Blue Hose are going to get just shellacked because they're the Blue Hose.
Then we've got Drake going to UNDE. Drake is kind of they like to schedule
get murdered
the local teams, but unfortunately the local teams are in the Missouri Valley and are pretty good.
They will take money to take a beating. That's for sure.
Yeah, they're not afraid of doing that.
You know what's wild though? If you look, like I watched the women's soccer game against Drake where we won, and honestly, when the camera's close, and as long as you're not seeing like the whole stadium, it looks like an Ivy League stadium. That's a big ass stadium. It seats like 20,000 people. If Drake actually tried in football, that would be actually a cool program to have around, much to the chagrin of UNI fans, but they just don't care.
Like it's like right there in Des Moines, so they have a great place to have a fan base. They have a lot of alumnus in the area.
Yeah, and Iowa has, and they used to care about football way back in the day. That's why they have a 20,000 seat Horseshoe Stadium. But
I thought this gal's wife was a former quarterback from that place.
This gal, her wife, Ray is gonna give you some words, my man.
Words are hard.
Ray. I'll hold him, Ray. I'll hold him while you kick him. Or I'll hold him while you throw a football at him. Even better. We'll do it for charity. And I get to paint the targets on him.
Don't paint on the part that makes me money, okay?
Oh, right. That's not where I was thinking. You're safe, buddy. You'll be good.
Hey, those other parts, I'm not going to use them. It's pain is temporary. They're of no use to me. Ray is using my phone. It's not me. Hey, Ray.
Well done talking about yourself in the third person under your
I was talking about the wife. I had it right all along, Brendan.
Deb started for Drake. That's crazy.
I just knew.
One more garbage Missouri Valley game to go for this week. It's Dayton going to Illinois State.
Oh, that's so bad. Dayton, once again, sucks so bad.
Yeah.
God.
Now that we've got through all that garbage,
we should have an over-under on how many 50 Butterburgers are going to be scored this weekend by Valley teams.
Ooh, I like this.
Now we're talking.
We've got a D2 and we've got 1, 2, 3 Pioneer League teams.
Point of clarification. What if the Missouri Valley team is the one that gets the 50 butter scored on them? Does that count?
Sure. Yep.
All right. I'm taking Missouri.
Oh, you're picking most likely to put a 50 Butterburger up.
Well, no, I'm just picking them as one of the teams.
I'm gonna take us in that, and the most likely to be a 50 Butterburger. To be honest, but if I'm picking against D1, I'm gonna pick UND.
I thought we
Drake
were taking
in
how
the
many.
Alaris. I know that's what I was going for, but then Chad picked somebody like a psycho, so I just went and rolled with it.
We have
I can do no
we
right
have-
on this podcast. I swear.
we have 12 separate Missouri Valley games. I'm gonna go with
Oh
5.
yeah, I guess they play 5.
Yeah,
I
I'm
would
getting to
put the over under at 4.5.
That's what I was saying. 4.5, 5.5. So
I'm gonna take the under.
4.5 or 5? Let's settle on a number.
We said 4.5 because Ben said
Sure.
yeah, I would put the over under at 4.5. So I would take under 4.5. I think it'll be 4, possibly even 3. I can see some
take
teams
over.
putting up like 36 or 42.
I'll take over. What are we betting?
I don't know. What are we going to bet? As he looks at the cat headphones.
How about the loser buys a Butterburger?
Fair enough. I like it.
Butterburger.
Speaking of Butterburgers,
Exactly.
Culver's, one of our segment sponsors for our picks, which is why they're the Butterburger sponsor of the 50 Butterburger. And I will add to the wager. I want to add let's add 30 Scoopy tokens.
Oh yeah, Scoopy tokens.
30.
I want my Scoopy tokens.
That's a lot of Scoopies though, yeah?
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't gotten
That's too many Scoopies.
What?
That's
Yeah.
what you
How much does a Scoopy token cost? That's my question.
Well, I don't know. They're printed on a piece of paper. They're not that expensive.
They do come free with every.
Buy them.
Hey, they come free with every kids meal, so that's.
Yeah. I don't have kids, so I would not know.
I'm just saying, like, if you want food and ice cream, it's not a bad deal.
Yeah. All right. We'll say a Butterburger and 3 Scoopy tokens.
All right. Sounds good. Jim has to finish up, Culver's, everybody, if you're not planning on bringing food to the tailgate, maybe just stop at Culver's, eat there, or bring that over to the tailgate. They got awesome food. And you can grab some ice cream too for dessert. Or not ice cream. It is delicious frozen custard.
Frozen custard.
Jim does have a good question
about the homeless cows playing the Fighting Eagles.
No, the one that's on screen, actually.
Right now.
Oh, spicy meatball pick of the week.
Thanks for paying attention, Brandon.
I can't read. I would say it's probably
it's going to be
UNI.
I was just going to say the UNI Iowa State game. That's the one we need to talk about.
You know what makes it tough is going to depend on the line. You know what makes it a spicy meatball? It's a spicy meatball because half of Iowa State is freaking suspended. And then they have fans with the audacity to say that Theodore's not that good. So, if that line is anything over 7 for Iowa State, they're always close anyways. Those are always tight games. So if that line is 7 or over, man, I'd be running on that one because I think you and I might win outright.
I agree.
I don't have a line for it yet, but yeah, Iowa State's probably going to be good this year, but I don't know the details on like who is all out. They do have that Hunter Decker is obviously he may not play collegiate football again, or NCAA football anyway.
Yeah. Mr. Kenkel, who put out a great article for us with his model he put together, his predictive model, which is awesome. I highly recommend everybody go peruse the blog. We have been hammering out articles with guest bloggers for this last week. Go check it out. It's awesome.
Paul Saylor just had another one.
Yep, Paul Saylor
Yep.
just had another one. So go check it out. Alex says that his model currently says UNI plus 24.5. If the line opens up that big, I might convince Ariel to get a second mortgage on the house.
Yes,
Yeah.
do that.
I think you
I
should.
highly recommend it.
Even my cheap ass would put $100 on that.
Yeah, I would sell I'd consider selling my pickup and putting the money on that line. 24.5. Sweet Martha's Vineyard, please open that high.
Yeah,
that would be a spicy meatball. That's making the money.
Well, what we can do is when we get the line, we can tweet out. So we can tweet out the spicy meatball, and so people can see what it's.
Yeah,
at.
we'll tweet out all our picks, including Brendan's
spicy meatball of the week.
You just got to find the perfect gift for it, Brendan.
That's right. The other one we need to talk about is Eastern Washington is playing against NDSU at US Bank Stadium, which sounds like the ticket sales aren't going great for them. We'll see what it looks like. I think we're all hoping that Eastern Washington can give them a game. It's been a while since Eastern Washington looked like they could give NDSU a game. I doubt this is the year, but I do think NDSU is going to come out with a little chip on their shoulder.
I think Eastern Washington keeps it at least interesting for a half, though.
This is one of those games where if NDSU comes out and grinds one down the field for a touchdown, then Eastern Washington goes 3-and-out, and then NDSU grinds down the field again, it's over. That's done. Like, that game's done so fast. But if Eastern Washington can start putting points up on the board and make NDSU chase, I mean, we've seen it before. Cam Miller struggles when they're chasing. So I'm curious if they can keep
Dustin
their
asked what's over under on Cam Miller pass attempts. I'd say 3.5.
He'll have more than 3.5
attempts, yes, but completions.
Yeah, completions different story.
If his pass attempts are 3.5, they won going away.
That's true.
Well,
too.
yeah.
You know what's stupid about that is it's completely legitimately in the realm of possibility that he has 3 pass attempts in that game.
Do we count passes behind the line of scrimmage? They're not a forward pass?
No. A forward pass is a pass attempt. If it's a backwards pass, then it's not a pass.
Yeah. Some swing passes don't
lateral.
make it past the line of scrimmage. So
it doesn't have to make it past the line of scrimmage to be a forward pass.
Right.
Technicology.
So
technicology. Wow. Technicality. Oh my god.
I thought you said that on purpose wrong.
I
honestly
sort of
ran
did.
with that.
I didn't mean to, but I like it.
Jordan Fink asks, speaking of Missouri Valley games in Twin Cities, how are our ticket sales going? I was surprised the last time I looked at how few tickets there are available for it. I think we're going to have a pretty good crowd there.
Yeah, I think we're going to have a good crowd. I'm torn between wanting to have a great crowd and make NDSU look stupid for putting their game in US Bank Stadium and then beating their ticket sales at a baseball field. I'm torn between wanting to do that and then wanting it to do well enough for it to pay for us, but not well enough for us to want to do it again because I hate neutral site games. So I'm in this weird juxtaposition of life here. That being said, I think it's going to be a good turnout. And actually, did you guys get a shot to read the article on Sioux Falls Live about ticket sales?
For Tucker Field?
No. Just ticket sales, season ticket sales, the effect winning the Natty has had on the athletic department and all that stuff. You got to read that?
Didn't see that. Tell us about it.
I didn't either. Chad could probably pull it up. It's not by Zimmer.
No,
which is interesting.
Hey, let me pull up.
But it is a very good article. Our season ticket sales went up 20 to 25%. We gained 1,300 season tickets. There's 6,700 season tickets sold this year. What was the other deal they were talking about? Well, compared to back in 2010 when we had 1,300 season tickets sold total. Now there's 6,700. And it talks about, I really encourage reading this article. But people do say, FCS football, it doesn't have as much of an effect on your university being good at it compared to being FBS or really good at basketball and winning national, NCAA tournament games. It sounds like the momentum has been huge. Like Justin Sell says, it's been bigger and lasted longer than they ever expected it to. This is the first season they've sold all the suites in the stadium, and the suites were bringing in $2 million a year for the stadium before they sold them all out. So I'm curious what that number is. It also lists what the stadium payment is. The payment's $2.5 million a year on the bonds. So just selling those suites should cover the stadium payment. It's a really good article. I've been dying for an article like this to come out for a long time. And I'm wondering, what is his name, Chad? If you could go back up to the Landon Dirks. Am I saying that right? Dirks? There was the promise when Forum moved down and started Sioux Falls Live, they were going to start covering SDSU the way they cover NDSU up in Fargo. And I wonder if he's being added in the same way that they have a couple different guys, McFeely and Kolpak and Izzo all covering NDSU, if they're adding people to join Zim to cover SDSU, which would be awesome.
Yeah, I mean, the more coverage, the better. I don't know, when you were talking about suite tickets, I don't know if you're talking about club tickets, but club tickets are also sold out, so that's pretty cool. I was looking at the target field map, and basically almost between the goal lines, all the tickets are sold out in the first 1, 2, 3.5 levels. There's still some up in the 300 level, but not many around the field left in the 100 level. So yeah, should be a really good turnout.
I couldn't help myself. Sorry.
It's just beautiful. That's not Rev's hat.
I say that's not even Rev's bunny head.
That's not
somebody
Rev's,
else's bunny head.
Yeah, it's still cool.
Amazing. No, that's fantastic. I love it. I think it's going to be a great turnout for the TCF Bank Stadium. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The
Target Field,
whatever. It's Minnesota stadiums. Who cares?
Back to this Thursday, Corey mentioned, he said Bleacher Bum tickets are available for $10 on Thursday night, which is pretty cool. Hadn't seen that yet.
That is cool.
That just came out this morning, I think. So,
gotcha.
Yeah, that's a great deal. It's a great way to bring in new fans with super cheap tickets like that, where you can 100%. Keep building the fan base, especially when you have momentum like this. Not getting too greedy with the tickets is important, because they could have just said, well, we're national champs. Every ticket's $50. I think it's a really smart move for them to keep some cheap ticket options to add to the fan base and bring in more people that are interested now from the national title and are interested in going to a Jacks game and wondering what it's all about and not getting priced out.
Right. The other thing you can do on Thursday is stop at Jackrabbit Central.
Oh, yeah, you should give that a whirl for sure. At 4 o'clock, you'll have plenty of time to go in there.
This is from Jackrabbit Central.
That's a beauty.
This is from Jackrabbit Central. These are from Jackrabbit Central, which are sweet, by the way. I bought like a dozen of these.
If you're listening, specifically like highball, thin boy koozies too?
These are, yeah. But I also got the regular beer ones too.
regular beer or regular tall boys? Do they have
12-ounce
all three?
beers.
Okay, well, I just ask.
Yeah, there's they make them
Some
for
of us drink
pounders
more
too.
pounders. So
Listen,
you know.
you lawless, flawless boy.
I don't drink, the Newport of beers that often.
The Newport of beers. Did you just compare a beer to a cigarette?
Yeah, they had the thin cigarettes, right?
Yeah,
Those were the thin
yes,
ones,
those.
the Newports. Okay, I'm not a
no, those were
Virginia
just the 100s.
Slims, whatever.
Virginia Slims,
It's all the
yeah.
same to me. I don't
Yeah.
smoke.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's wrap this show
we're
up
getting off
by
the rails.
talking
We're talking
about our score predictions for this game.
predictions.
Yeah, predictions.
Why
What
do
do
we
you
got to
got?
do score predictions? Damn it!
Because it's not going to matter for this game anyway. I know you hate doing them, so I'll do it. I'm going to go 57-7. They squeak out a touchdown somehow.
I'm gonna go 63-10 because we're gonna absolutely empty the benches. I think everybody on the roster is going to get in the game at some point.
Either way, it's a 50 Butterburger.
50 Butterburger, baby.
Is this the dairy game? By the way?
Dairy Drive game. It is the Dairy Drive game.
And
you know what I'm cooking? Nothing, because it's a 2-hour tailgate.
Correct.
And I'm
Maybe
poopy
we'll pick
about
up
it.
we'll pick up some cheese curds on the way from Culver's.
Yeah.
There we go.
Culver's.
Yeah, pick up some Culver's cheese curds, baby. There we go.
Or some breakfast pizza with the cheese sauce, because everybody knows it's superior.
It is superior with the cheese sauce. That is absolutely
100%.
correct.
No, we should do a poll on that. The problem is, I don't think that enough people have had the breakfast pizza with the sausage gravy to know how good it is.
You already know you're wrong when you're going, well, I'm concerned that the people don't know.
I can maybe put a
it's
poll
a legitimate
on
concern. It's going to be it's not going to be a statistically accurate poll if nobody's had it.
And illegitimate, you know you're going to get murdered.
People don't know
if
about
that poll goes out because they don't need because the cheese is the best.
Did they stick with. Here's the question: did they put in the wheel of death? Did they put the sausage gravy slices or just cheese slices? That's what I want to know.
It's a hidden gem. It's a hidden gem.
It's not a secret menu item, Ben. You can't make
when you hide something. There's a reason to hide it.
No. So we can have this poll as long as there's a third option that says I can't vote because I've never tried the sausage gravy one.
Fair enough.
Sure. We can do that.
Well, we also have to then offer a fourth vote. I can't vote because I've never had Casey's breakfast pizza because people like Rev,
Well, I would hope they're not.
He's going to have some next week.
Either of it.
We'll make sure we have some next week.
Jesse, you should bring some fresh Dimmock cheese curds. That would be a good idea for the Dairy Drive game. Have you guys ever had fresh Dimmock cheese curds?
No. I will say I've been unimpressed with all the Dimmock cheese curds I've had so far.
Do not judge them based on the ones that are in the store.
Well, I do, because I can go into a store in Wisconsin and get good squeaky cheese curds.
I know. I'm just saying that the good squeaky ones aren't there. Jesse, please bring some of those when he comes up.
He'll have to be fresh to be.
Jace has got it.
I know, but it'll be fresh enough.
I'm a little bit let down by the TeamMafia not tweeting at Quick Trip a little bit more to get us that sponsorship.
Yeah.
The only person that's tweeted really is Jim, and then everybody just kind of liked his tweet.
Because Jim's a stud.
He is. He's our super fan.
So Matthew Kroll. This has got Krell.
Probably.
That's you can't correct me when you don't know how to pronounce it.
I have a friend with the exact same name, and it's Krell.
Krell. Okay, we'll go with Krell. Fair, fine, whatever. Cruella. No, I'm kidding, Matthew. But he says, got to avoid targeting penalties in the second half and have to miss the first half next game. Mother of God, I hope we don't have anyone who's going to be starting the next game in the second half. although I don't disagree, I don't want to see any. I just don't want to see any targeting penalties. Period. In this game,
That would be a good way to see Brendan's rage, right? If that happens.
yeah, but yes and no. I can see. You got a freshman in there who hasn't seen the field, too amped up, and just unloads on some set up crossing route or something where it happens. Like, I'm not gonna be shocked if it happens. Now, if it's a starter, then I'm gonna be kind of pissed. Like, they know better.
I think you have to post at them, Jim. You don't X at them.
X gonna give it to you.
It's so weird.
I will
The X
never.
thing, it's Twitter
ever,
to me forever.
It will be Twitter.
It's still
tweet
Twitter,
and
yeah.
retweet. I'm not calling him dad ever, even if there's a fire. Buttered sausage.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing everybody on Thursday.
Yeah.
Yep. We fulfilled our hour time slot. It was a mess.
We get the bonus. We get the bonus from the Podfather by getting past an hour. So
we get a second crisp high five, baby, and that's what I'm all about. All right.
I guess with that, it's well, I'm not going to take it from you, Ben. Sorry.
As Jim Poppin always tells us, go big, go blue, go Jacks.